Hello, please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. We post on Sundays, 2 p.m., depending on where you are in the world. If you agree or don't agree, please put a comment in the comment section below and be courteous. And if you don't know how to be courteous, I'm sure someone on the panel can help you. We also, you also don't want to miss our RIPS episodes. Oh, you don't know what RIPS stands for? Check it out and find out what it means. Thank you and have a nice day.
All righty, greetings and welcome to the decoding of It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown episode, and also a decoding of Halloween, what it means and how does it work. So getting started, I guess I should give some background information on the origins of Halloween. So this holiday was once upon a time known as All Hallows Evening. It wasn't until 1745 where it became Halloween, and this was uh, I guess a day of ceremony, a day of rituals. Um, Back in the ancient times, that was done by the Celts and the Irish, but why they did this was a really interesting reason. They felt that this particular day, October 31st, was a time in the universe was which was when the veil between our world, the physical realm, and the unseen realm, and the unseen meaning like the spiritual realm or the underworld, however we want to understand that. And I'm gonna read a little bit from this article, which gives a little bit more information. And let me get the article on the screen for you all as well. So it says here, the Celts said that on Samhain, which is the ancient name for Halloween, the Celts said that on Samhain, the spirits could move freely between the veil between their world and ours. Wait, hold on. Let me start over. The Celts said that on Samhain, the spirits could move freely because the veil between their world and ours is thinnest on the night of 31st October. Therefore, they dressed up in scary masks to avoid these demonic spirits. They also placed vegetables, wine, and candles in front of their houses as an offering to these beings to be spared by them. By October 31st, not many vegetables grow, except, for example, the pumpkin, but the Celts and the Druids did much more to satisfy these demonic spirits through summoning rituals and animal and human sacrifices. Another great festival of the ancient Celts was Samhain, celebrated on October 31st, the eve of a pagan festival. The night we now know, and the night we know as Halloween, this was a wild and monstrous event with human sacrifices and offerings burnt by the Druids as offerings to the gods. So here in Charlie Brown, we see. Okay, so all in all, in the ancient times, it was believed that our world, the physical world, and the unseen world, there was a time and place where. So it's believed that there's some sort of barrier, right? You know what a barrier? Something that protects something. So Halloween is believed to be when this barrier is the weakest, meaning that spirits, demonic forces, and all sorts of energy can break through the barrier and come into our world. So ancient times, when they believed this, they would wear scary mask and other sorts of disguises and costumes to prevent themselves from being harmed by the demonic or evil spirits who are said to be breaking through the veil or barrier. A veil is just a covering. That's what that means. It's a covering. And they also put up jack-o'-lanterns and all sorts of various carvings as offerings and as protection from the spirits that were breaking through the veil. Z, would you like to share something?
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
So like, and the Halloween, like, who came up with it? Like Halloween, like, did they see spirits on that day, and then they like started to do those rituals and stuff, or like they just came up with it and thought that the spirits were gonna come to the world or something?
So the folks who came up with it were the Roman Catholic Church, which is at one point in time a very, very, very powerful group of white people. They used because a lot of people were not trying to become Christians, which is one of the most practiced religions on the planet. A lot of people were not trying to be Christian, so they understood that, hey, if we allow them to practice some sort of rituals and ceremonies that they used to practice before Christianity, it would allow more people to convert to Christianity. So the people who started it are a group of white people known as the Roman Catholics. And at one point in time, the Roman Catholic Church was the most powerful force in the known universe. And this was around 609 AD, a very, 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 very long time ago. Yeah, 2,000 years ago, around that time.
Wait, so do people now, like, do they think that, or are they just doing it for fun?
Oh yeah, we're gonna get into that. So the meaning has been has been, I want to say, deformed, which is I mean, like, to change in an incorrect way. The meaning of it has been definitely made to mean something incorrect. And 2021, Halloween just is simply the worship and celebration of death. Like common people, like people who do not understand that Halloween is a part of the occult. Occult means hidden. It's a part of the hidden things that happen on planet Earth. So this day, Halloween, is very, very, very important for various people. Some call them Satanists, and and they call each other Satanists. So Satanists, which are people who believe and worship Satan, or you could use ancient terms for him, which is Baal, which is right here. Let me just read a little bit more from this article. Everywhere in these islands, there seems to be great similarity as to the activities and incantations practiced in our peasantry on the eve of All Saints' Day. Many of these customs are fast disappearing, but formally we can hardly doubt that they had to do with certain pagan festivals. At present, they are partially continued as they give rise to social amusements, especially among our young people. It was the time appointed by the Druids for the solemn intercessions of the living and for the souls of the dead who passed away from life. Next, we learned that the Druids taught the Pythagorean doctrine of transmigration of souls. These were called to judgment by Baal Samham at this time, depending on their merits or demerits. In the past life, souls were instructed to enter bodies of the humans or beast species. They were to be proportionally happy or unhappy during their next sojourn on this sublunary globe. But the punishment of evil humans could be mitigated by the use of spells and magical arts, or by sacrifices made to Baal by their friends. So I'm just gonna translate this. So once upon a time, people thought that celebrating Halloween used to be about celebrating and allowing souls to I guess go to the other side. But people who feared that they had lived evil lives and feared death, they would partake in various rituals and ceremonies to not have their souls be trapped in places that they didn't want their souls to be trapped. So then they would do spells or rituals to prevent their souls from being trapped by sacrificing animals or humans. And I'm gonna go to another document.
Wait, so if they don't want their souls to be trapped, why would they kill themselves? Because like kill other humans? Because like if their soul's gonna be trapped and that's just unhappy, but being dead doesn't make you happier.
That's a great question. It's so magic. I'm gonna tell you what magic means. Magic is using your mind, your thoughts, and the forces of nature to create events that would not happen naturally. You know, say if I want a particular person to do something for me, or I want a particular event to happen, there are various spells that I could do if I wanted to bring that about. You know, it's just that this sort of magic has been kept away from common people. Is mostly reserved for people in the know. People in the know are folks who have an understanding of the occult. Again, occult means hidden. People who have an understanding of the hidden laws of the universe are able to use various magical techniques to change what's happening on planet Earth. So they felt that if they were to use various parts of animals, various liquids contained in human, that they will be able to use these items to change the outcomes of their death, or to help the deceased go to any place other than the underworld, which is seen as an incorrect place. So here you're seeing a list of various holidays practiced by Satanists, right? And on Halloween right here, All Hallows Eve,
blank,
you see that the ceremony that they do here, you see animal/human sacrifices, and it says male or female, which means that it doesn't, you can sacrifice a male or a female, any age, but if you want the most powerful energy, he should be blonde and blue eyes. But remember, we live in a system of white supremacy, so most people and most Satanists would rather kidnap a black child and use black children for these rituals. So yeah, you have about from October through 28th
blank,
to
blank,
October
blank,
31st, you have 4 days where human sacrifice is said to be more powerful, and it happens the most around this time of year. And again, they sacrifice people to their deity, which is Satan or Baal, or he has many names. Oh, maybe Sabah as well, but I may be in error. So this document is a document from various law agencies. This was created by various police departments and with the help of the FBI. It's all about Satanists and what they do on Halloween. They do various incorrect things and in order to get power. more power. It is often theorized that a lot of the people who have tons of resources and ton of power, they have knowledge into the occult, and they are said to be partaking in human sacrifices, which is why it is a very, very, very dangerous time during from October 28th into October 31st. It's a very, very dangerous time to be a person not understanding the kind of world you're living in, because you could very much get think you're going to a Halloween party, think you're going to a haunted house, think you're going to have some fun. Next thing you know, you're in a van being knocked out, and then your body is being used in various rituals. I just saw a story that was happening in some area of the world where they a priest in his church, they found body parts inside the church, and they also found a number of naked males and females, all black, hidden within the church. And they said it is alleged that these people were about to be sacrificed. So this happened literally like less than 2 weeks ago. Oh yeah. So yeah, this is what. So now I'm gonna talk about Halloween in the 2021. You know, it has very much lost its meaning. You know, the human sacrifices are still taking place, I suspect, but people don't wear costumes anymore because they are trying to scare away spirits like they did in ancient times. People don't carve pumpkins to ward off spirits like they did in ancient times. And remember, to ward something off just means to keep something away. So now in 2021, people just wear costumes and stuff because they are just celebrating wickedness, essentially. You know, what do we see people dressed up as in 2021? We see people dressed up as Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers, witches, ghost, Chucky. All of these symbols and characters represent death and destruction. So that is what is being celebrated. We have been trained to believe that it's okay to dress up like Freddy Krueger, which is essentially a demonic figure who kills people while they're sleeping. Very much like the system of white supremacy. Many non-white people are asleep. We are not aware of how the system works, nor are we aware that we are its target. So it's very, very easy to kill us because we're all asleep, which is what Freddy Krueger can represent. You will see Michael Myers, which is a pale, which is just a mask, but he has very, very pale skin, and all he does is kill, and he's immortal. That is the energy of white supremacy. It is very, very hard to eliminate the system, and the system is only interested in destroying, causing misery and death. So yeah, this is why we should not celebrate Halloween. So one should not be getting this information is protection, because if we have the information, we can know what to avoid. So this is how to avoid, falling into the trap of thinking that celebrating death is fun, celebrating people dying is fun, because it's not. And again, from this chart, taken from law enforcement, taken from people who have spent a lot of time discussing this. And this entire document is full of real cases that I can't even talk about because there's children on the broadcast. But this document talks about kidnapping, children being kidnapped, and various incorrect things happening. But you can see that most of October is dedicated to the Satanists, and they use this time to do a lot of incorrect things. You know, there's a reason that in this area of the world, known as the United States, thousands and thousands of Black people go missing without a trace. And I suspect it's because they're being kidnapped, and some of them for sure are being used in human trafficking, and some of them I suspect are being used in these sort of rituals. So back to this to the episode, what did we see? Did these children, they were, first of all, they are white, and they're very, very smart. I noticed that these kids are super smart, and they're using words that I didn't know uh, at their time. So the creator of this show, again, this is for kids. So the creator of the show is making sure that the white kids who watch this, they're still learning, they're still getting information. Like the part where this part right here, where there's the white woman lies to Charlie Brown because the document wasn't notarized. I think this is a great example as to how racism, white supremacy works, because everyone here should know what a Native American is, right? A Native American were the people who were here before white people came. And what white people started to do, they started to kill millions of Native Americans. And then they would say, all right, we're gonna stop killing y'all. Here's this treaty. We got this treaty, you know, it says that we can only go here and you guys can only go here. And then the Native Americans were like, okay, we have this treaty, we have this document, so we're safe now. But say like 2 years later, guess what would happen? White people will start killing them again, and then they would make a new treaty, and then Native Americans would be like, okay, now we're finally safe. But then what happened after that? White people killed millions upon millions of buffalo, which was the life force of the Native Americans. They used, when a Native American person killed a buffalo, they would use every single piece of the buffalo for clothing, for constructive rituals, and of course to eat. And white people noticed that. So white people said, we got to get rid of these Native Americans because we want this land, you know? So they killed all the buffalo, and then they kept making the treaties, and they slowly but surely were killing most of the Native Americans. And the ones that were survived, they now live in so-called reservations. So if you understand white people, you must understand that they like to hide behind writing and laws and documents, but they don't really follow their own laws and documents. That's for non-white people to do. So this is what this scene reminds me of. You know, Charlie Brown trusted her because she had a document, but it didn't protect him from her deception, did it? She still lied, right? And that's what white supremacists do. They'll have you thinking that you're safe because of a piece of paper, but you are really never safe, especially if you do not understand how this system works. Another thing I thought was that this creator of the show is super, super smart, because there's this scene right here where Snoopy is pretending to be a World War I veteran. That's gonna encourage a lot of white children to want to join the Air Force, to want to go into the Army, because it makes it seem very, very interesting. So the creator of this show has done a wonderful job at presenting these messages to children to get them to think, to get them thinking. A white child may see this, may see this Snoopy guy, dog, this beagle, and they'd be like, that looks fun. I want to join the Air Force. And then next thing you know, there's a ton of white people flying jets, dropping bombs on people. And that's how that works. White children will see Charlie Brown being deceived behind the documents, and they will learn to trust nobody. Don't trust documents. You know, you have to keep yourself safe. So white children are getting a lot of messages from this show. And what else was interesting? Oh, and also I think the show does a great job at showing the silliness of the character Linus. Him, this character here could be decoded as a he functions as a non-white person. He has been led to believe in nonsense, and he no matter what people tell him, he still believes the nonsense. And that's a lot of how non-white people operate in the system. You know, our heads are full of nonsense and incorrect information. So he's spending his time and energy waiting on the imaginary great pumpkin. It kind of reminds me of how non-white people, especially Black people, have, and a lot of people classified as Asian, they're also stuck in this trap as well, which is relying on Jesus to come down and save them from their problems. You know, they get on their knees and they pray to this Jesus figure or this God figure, and they expect the world to change and their life to get better. But that is not the case. If you want our lives to get better, our existence to get better, we have to do the work ourselves. We can ask the creator, and again, the creator is not God. God is a white concept created by white people to keep non-white people in a pitiful state. If you're relying on God or the great pumpkin or Santa Claus to help you, then you don't have help coming. But if you ask the creator for assistance, then he's able to guide you through various messages and guide you in silence. You know, when you're in a quiet room and you get ideas or constructive ideas, that could be the creator communicating with you. But if you are thinking that a great pumpkin is going to come and give you gifts, or a religion is going to come and save you, then you have already been trapped by the system of white supremacy. Not only you, but your mind has been captured as well. So really, really interesting. And also, I thought it was very telling that the blonde white child is she's presented to be more nice, more courteous than the brunette. And that could be because in a system of white supremacy, the best is blonde, and then there's red hair, and then there's black hair. So maybe that's why her character is nice, but she does try to give him some hard truth. I say hard truth because she said it and not the nicest way. And also the piano player is also blonde. He doesn't even, I don't think he speaks. This guy, he's also blonde, and he's also very constructive. He's playing the piano. That's very constructive. So it could be the creator of the show color coding these characters. You know, the smartest, most constructive ones are the blondes, and then the mean one is the black hair one. This one right here. Let's see if I can get her. She's the meanest, but she's still white. And also back to this scene right here, where she she could be helping her little brother with the pumpkin, but she is not. And it just goes to show you that there is no equilibrium, which means balance. You know, there's no balance between racist man and racist woman. The balance only comes when they are practicing white supremacy. You know, white people really don't like each other. They really don't. But they love the system of white supremacy, and it takes white people to maintain this system of white supremacy. It takes them to come together and make sure that white people are doing what they need to do, which is basically constantly misguiding and misdirecting non-white people, keeping us confused. So she could have easily helped him, and it would have been way easier for him to get this pumpkin. But there's no balance between them. The white woman expects the white man to take care of them, and because she knows that they both will be benefiting from white supremacy. So I thought that was really interesting. Is there anything that other folks noticed on the episode?
Yes.
268 Union Station.
Can you share what you noticed?
I noticed that what's it? The blonde hair. Yeah, Charlie Brown. He it's like, what can I say? He's kind of mean to her because he doesn't trust her even though he's doing it. And I wonder why does he's still trusting her even though he doesn't like her. They give her like a chance.
Excellent comment, Leia. That's because the white woman is very, very powerful in the system of white supremacy. They are super, super deceptive, and deceptive just means they tell lies that people believe. They're able to manipulate people. So of course he fell for it, because in the system of white supremacy, everyone is trained to trust a white woman. People often say that this system is because of the white man this, the white man that, but it's actually the white man and the white woman. The white woman is even more powerful than the white man because they control the production of white people. You need white women to make white people. And also, the way the system is set up, most people don't even think about the white woman as being the main component to white supremacy, but she is. So I think Charlie Brown kept falling for it because he's under the spell of the white woman, like most of us are. We trust white people, especially white women. This is why most teachers on the planet are white. It's their job to confuse us. It's their job to make sure we are stupid and silly. It's a white woman's job. The white man, his job is to do the same, but he does it in a different manner. But the people we are interacting with the most, especially in education, is the white woman. So she has a very, very important role in the system of white supremacy. Another very important thing was the trick-or-treating. So we have been taught to go trick-or-treating and just get a bunch of candy, and this also falls into Satanism, because they have a number of beliefs, and one of them is indulging. The Satanists believe that life is important because you're able to indulge in everything you want. So let's see if I can find it. Oh, I'll just paraphrase it. So Satanists believe in indulgence, and trick or treating represents that. You know, you spend your time going house to house, getting a ton of candy, um uh which is disguised poison. You know, candy is disguised poison. There's no constructive benefits from eating candy. All you can expect from that is sugar headaches, eventually rotten teeth, and it also prevents you from thinking clearly because all that sugar goes here inside your body and it makes you super hyper. It's super jittery, and we have been trained to think that this is okay. We should not be going collecting bags of candy. And the reason it's so popular because white supremacy is a business, you know. And what does a business want to do? It wants to make money. It wants to it wants to make money, and selling every year, I think probably over $1 billion. I'm just guessing, but millions, if not billions, millions of dollars are spent on candy. You know, people use this time and buy a ton of candy, and then they give it to children, and then say January or February, all the kids are at the dentist because they got cavities. So it helps the dentistry business, and it also helps the business of white supremacy. If you have a bunch of, especially non-white kids, eating so much candy, they're not gonna be able to become correct thinking people. They're gonna become addicted to sugar, and that is one of the many reasons. I mean, ways that they can control us by having us dependent on candy. You know, a lot of kids, when they're just babies, they're introduced to sugar and candy, and that has a really detrimental effect on children. So trick-or-treating is super non-constructive. We should not be thinking it's okay to just get tons of candy, gobble it all up, and think nothing bad is going to happen to our body. It literally destroys our bodies. Go ahead, Z.
Well, I think the girl with the black hair, like the girl that checked Charlie Brown, is like really rude because when they're at the party, she literally like just told them, "Oh, it's time for apple picking or whatever," and then she's like so demanding and rude, and she doesn't care how anybody thinks, and she can just call everybody names and they won't say anything about it.
Yeah, that's white power 101. Z, great observation. You know, she's using her white power to most out of all of them, because she knows she's a white woman and she knows how to behave as a white woman. When you're a white person, everything is yours. You know, at least you have been taught to think that everything is yours. So excellent observations. And here we can see just the imagery here. You see the black cats. You know, black cats are, in the system of white supremacy, black cats are taught to be evil or bad. But once upon a time ago, black people, they celebrated black cats because they understood the power of cats and their ability to protect ones from negative energies. So a lot of people have black cats in ancient times to just to protect their houses, protect their energy, and that's why there's tons of inscriptions and statues of black cats. But what white supremacy does is that it kind of inverts or flips everything. So now a lot of people see black cats and they think it's a bad thing. I when I was more confused about white supremacy, every time I saw a black cat, I would spit because, you know, we're taught that black cats are bad luck. So I grew up spitting whenever I saw a black cat, which is just super anti-black. And yeah, so this is how racist we have been taught to think. You know, we don't think like a non-white person is supposed to think. We all think kind of like a white person, especially if you don't understand white supremacy, which is why right now, Halloween 2021, October 31st, we will be able to see tons of non-white people out celebrating, wearing costumes, wearing Freddy Krueger costumes, Mike Myers costumes, and just having a blast because we don't know, we really don't know anything better. You know, whatever white people do, we will also do. So Halloween is a very, very dangerous time to be a Black person, especially if we are out celebrating out at nighttime. You could very much easily have a van pull up on you and you could disappear. I remember I was like probably 18, and I took my little cousin out trick-or-treating, and I was just so worried that she was gonna disappear. And I didn't know about racism or nothing, but just something in my being had me paying very, very close attention to her because she's a very small child at the time, and I did not want anything to happen to her. So I paid very close attention to her. So yeah, very, very serious time for people who understand that this is a time um for magic, for occult magic. So I wish we could go into some of the more content, but the panel is so young, so we'll have to save it for a different broadcast. Are there any more comments or questions about the episode? Does any folks like to chime in on their information that they may have about Halloween?
Well, I think that the guy I forgot his name, but the one who believed in like the pumpkin something, like the pumpkin guy that would just like come out of pumpkin patch. I feel like I don't know why he wasted all his time just sitting there, and like I think he could have like been doing better stuff or like something better than that. I don't know why he believed in that. I just think that he shouldn't believe in that. I think that kind of like, and I don't know why the girl, she like I think because she liked him a lot, that she like went and she said that she was gonna be with him for the whole time. I think that like I don't think she should have did that.
Yes, you're correct, and it kind of relates to what I said earlier. That Linus is functioning as a confused person. He has been led to believe in nonsense, which is the majority of people classified as non-white. We just believe in nonsense, and I think that's what his character represents. That sort of confusion. So something else that happens during Halloween, and I'm gonna share this from the document because we have children on the panel, and I think you guys should know what's happening to other children. So not only do Satanists and those who practice the incorrect magic, I'm gonna call it, they will often when they are sacrificing a person, sometimes they won't even do it themselves. Sometimes they will force children to do it. So this is something that I learned about from this document, that there's dozens of forms of torture, but one of the most incorrect things that I noticed was that sometimes they will have a victim tied up, and they will get a child around your age or younger to murder their person, because they believe that is a great way to condition and brainwash that child into normalizing this sort of behavior. And yeah, I did my best to keep that PG, but yeah, if I was a kid, I would want to know what's happening. If I was a child, which I am, but if I was a younger child, I would want to know what's happening to my other children. So that's something that another reason to understand that this Halloween, this holiday, this horror day is really incorrect. Any more comments from the panel?
Yeah. Charlie Brown was kind of mad at her, even though he didn't do nothing, because he nearly what's it called? She nearly what's it called? Wrote marker on his back without permission, and I think that's kind of rude because um because he they didn't ask permission, and plus the dog was kind of like nosy because we popped out. We went all the way to the to the um to the party to be noisy and see what they doing. Noisy, noisy.
Thank you, Lay. Very, very insightful. And again, for the children, this, now that you have this information, you guys are very, very safe from being a victim of you know, the occult. You guys are safe from being kidnapped and tortured because you understand what this stuff means, so you're able to avoid it. You know, you won't be trying to trick or treat in the middle of the night, so nothing's gonna happen to you. So don't be afraid of this information. All information is power. You know, you should be feeling like, woo, I'm glad I know that now, so I don't, you know, be out trick or treating, or I don't find myself, you know, having a sugar overdose, not being able to think straight, and losing all my teeth. So just like in this episode, if you are not like Linnaeus, if you're not like the folks trick or treating, you shouldn't be worried about anything happening to you. You know, these occult practices take place in what they call, some of them take place in what they call rural areas, which is a place we're not in. And the most incidents of this sort of thing has been in places like Idaho, Texas, according from this document. So don't leave here being afraid, because that is what the system wants you. It wants you to be afraid of its wickedness. But if you understand it, you can counter it. You know, in countering Halloween is simply understanding what it means. It's a celebration of a death and correctness, but various people use this day because they believe that you can get more magical results from harming people in the ways I mentioned. So if do not be fearful of the things mentioned in this broadcast, and just learn from it. Are there any more comments from the panel?
Not for me.
Alrighty, I'm gonna just share a final comment. The best way for anyone to be safe and protected is simply understanding. When we do not understand the world we live in, that is when the danger comes. You know, when I was more confused, I was always in danger because I was trained to do a bunch of stupid stuff. But now that I have understanding, I am somewhat protected, you know. So information is it's kind of, information can be seen as a bulletproof vest. You know, if you have it, you're protected. If you don't, then you're not protected. So Halloween is incorrect. It stems from the worship of death. And unfortunately, a lot of people have taken this holiday to do a bunch of nefarious things. That was my final comment. I'm gonna let the folks who like to share a word go ahead. Let's have Z and then Leah.
Oh well, yeah. I just wanted to say what I think about Halloween. Now that you said all that stuff, I don't think I'm not scared of it. I just like it's just now that I know, like, wow, like I can't believe I did all that stuff. That's really bad. And well, I think instead of doing all that stuff and like going out trick or treating and stuff, you can just like stay at home or like do something else, like do something. I don't know, just make cookies or something. But like, I don't know. I don't like think that you should go outside anymore. And I thought trick or treating was so fun before this meeting, and now I was like, wow, I can't believe that happened. And
That's the trap, Z. That's the trap. I appreciate your comments, but that's the trap. Me too. I think trick or treating was fun too.
yeah, because like in
mhm.
movies and stuff, and every TV show and stuff, they like brainwash you to think that like it's so fun, but like, is it really?
Yeah.
Like you never even know. They're just telling you what you want to hear.
Exactly. And see, yeah, so instead of trick or treating, we could just do something constructive. You know, that's very, yeah, that solved that. You know, instead of trick or treating, if all Black people did something constructive, maybe this problem wouldn't be as bad as it is. But like you said, everyone's been brainwashed through TV to think it's fun. You know, every single TV show has some sort of Halloween special where everyone's dressing up, having fun. You know, but no, the reason trick or treating exists because it creates a hunting grounds, you know, and the prey are the confused people who do not even understand that they're being hunted by various people, whether it's the poison inside the candy that's going to get into your body, or whether it's from the nefarious people who want bodies for various rituals. So yes, you're correct, Z. We don't have a clue what we're doing when we say trick or treat, or when we, you know, go out in these costumes. We don't have a clue what this means, but many people do, and they use it to their benefit at the cost of us. Go ahead, Leah.
I actually how this spell even though I literally took a treat and I just feel like I don't want to trick or treat anymore because all this stuff can actually happen to me to like other people's and stuff. It's like a lot of kidnapping. Is like getting more people disappearing. It's kind of like killing people, and it's kind of like chasing people down. People think that killing people is so much fun. That the And I just feel like I don't want to trick or treat anymore. It's like trick or treating for nothing. It's like trick or treating for it's like trick or treating for nothing. Instead of that, I agree with Derry because we should do nothing. It's like trick or treating, like boring. We have found out stuff about that. I'm just feel like I'm just bored with trick or treating because even though if I trick or treat and I think that it's fun and nothing's gonna happen, something is fun. And one thing is kind of like feeling like other black people. You put all the black people in the face, it's only gonna be white people. And that's kind of weird.
Okay, Lay, we can't hear you anymore. There's too much. I don't know if you're flipping paper or something.
All the black people. And
Okay, Lay, I had to mute you because we can't hear you anymore. There's too much disruption. But I do appreciate you saying that what you said about. Okay, I can hear you better now. You can continue.
you couldn't hear me?
I can hear you now.
Oh, I think the tree is kind of like boring and because kidnapping people or it's kind of like killing like almost everybody or unwhite people. They're killing all white unwhite not unwhite people unwhite people because they're just thinking that kidnapping people is so much fun and they just think they probably like still think it that probably they still think that probably some adults being like a childhood that killing people is fun. Some kids think killing people is fun and and I don't think that's childish behavior, even though they are adults, because it is like killing people or kidnapping people is so much fun.
Thank you, Lay, so much constructive information that you just shared. Yes, many people have been trained to think that killing is fun, but remember from this document here, if a white person wants to sacrifice a person, a child, the best one to sacrifice according to this document is a child with blonde hair and blue eyes. So we're lucky we don't have blonde hair and blue eyes, so we're less of a target. And because we're not trick or treating anymore, we're even more protected from being victim to this super incorrect behavior. But yeah, even when I was younger, when I was around your age, I definitely thought killing was fun because all the movies I watched had killing in it, you know, people killing. And I thought, hey, that's fun. I may do that one day. But now that I understand white supremacy and how I was just super brainwashed / brain trash, now I understand the incorrectness of it. And so yeah, thank you, Lay and Z, for your amazing participation and input. Miss B, would you like to share anything at all, perchance?
I don't know. When I was a kid, yeah, candy is horrible. It ruins your body. Um, it becomes sort of addictive. And when I was a kid, someone used to put something in the candy to make people not feel good. So my attempted mom would try to buy me a little something like apples and stuff like that. But yeah, so that's all I want to say. Thank you for letting me share.
Thank you for sharing. Okay, everyone. Thank you for your participation. That concludes this decoding. I'm sure you all will be having a constructive day today. And yeah, when we have a system of justice, I don't think we will be celebrating Halloween or Christmas or any of the nonsense that we have been trained to celebrate. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. CRWS signing out.